I'm Makabi.
And I'm LaShonda.
And welcome to our channel. Well, last time we was before you, we just got approval from my father-in-law, my soon-to-be father-in-law, to marry this beautiful young lady right here. And so,
our dating started.
Our dating started, yeah.
And our fiance.
Yeah, dating fiance kind of situation kind of started, together. Because it wasn't dating then, years later fiance. So it was kind of like dating fiance all at the same time. Yeah. So I got a phone call from my brother and saying that he had let this famous celebrity, Mr. Philip Michael Thomas, hear some of my tracks. I was doing like instrumental tracks and sending them to my brother. And he called me and said, "Hey man, Philip Michael Thomas want to meet you." So I'm like, okay, cool, great. So, and then I think he came up to visit us and made the suggestion that I kind of move down to Miami, Florida to do music. So, I didn't know how I was going to tell her because, we planning a wedding, we dating now, you know what I'm saying? So, didn't know how she was going to take that too much. So, you want to interject on that?
Well, he came to the house and told me that he got an opportunity with his music to work in the studio with this famous artist. And the problem was, I was all excited for him, but the problem is that he had to move to Miami, Florida. Now, Miami is
about 14, 15 hours away. From where she was, so you're going from like a 20, 30-minute drive from Makabi to Greensburg to like 14, 15-hour drive from Miami, Florida to Greensburg, Louisiana. So that was a big change. So
so I knew one thing I never wanted to do was stand in his way of his dream. My husband loves music. He sleeps, eats, breathes music at that time, especially at that time. And all he wanted to do was to get a record deal. That was his goal, and to, take care of the family. That's what he wanted. So I would be remiss if I stood in his way and be the one to say no. But I was going to really, really miss him. I didn't know how the long-distance relationship was going to work with us. I had never been in a long-distance relationship before, neither has he. So it was, if we were like, if this was meant to be, it's going to be, we're going to make it work. So he ended up moving to Miami very shortly. It was not long after we started dating. It was not long at all.
It
within months.
At all, yeah.
Of us dating.
Yeah.
He moved
and
to Miami.
I moved down there, and then and sure enough, my brother knew Philip Michael Thomas. And I remember the first time meeting the gentleman, we walked into his theater. I think it was called Miami Way, and walking in the theater, man, and he's sweeping the floor. I'm like, I ain't never heard about a celebrity, an actor. This man was on Miami Vice. We saw this man on TV every week, you know what I'm saying? So, and he was sweeping the floor. He was a nice guy, and he said, "Hey man, how you doing?" I'm like, "Great." It's Philip Michael Thomas, so he had a studio upstairs above this, the theater and stuff. And then he had this thing called, like amateur night, a talent show night. I think it happened like every Friday or Saturday, something like that. Every Friday or Saturday night. But anyway, I remember, performing at it, and that's funny because here's a little country boy from Mississippi in the big city, and all these people looking at me, and I had a bunch of equipment I brought on stage, my brother's equipment, and I remember the song that I did It was Pretty Brown Eyes by Mint Condition. And I remember how I did it. My brother helped me kind of arrange it. And we did a little thing that Boys to Men did, a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We did that little thing, and then it went into the instrumental Pretty Brown Eyes. So I remember setting up for my performance. And people was talking about me, laughing at me. Seriously, because, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew me. And so when the track hit and I started singing, it was over. All the girls go crazy. All the same boy, all that stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, it made me feel good. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. So I ended up winning that night. So after that night, Philip Michael Thomas asked me to work with him, in the theater and the studio and stuff like that, and doing things because he really liked my work. So with that being said, here I am, a new guy in this big city, country fella, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what it is about country dudes going into the city girls, they see fresh meat,
So it was, we were long distance. He was missing me, I was missing him, you know, and he had a fresh life.
Women was coming on to
me.
And I really didn't know. Now, I told everybody that, I said, I got a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? She's number one, you know what I'm saying? So, but
his first mistake was telling them he's number one. I was number one instead of saying I'm the only one. Did y'all catch that?
Yeah.
I just want y'all to know that. Did y'all catch that? Instead of his first mistake was saying that I was his number one, meaning somebody else could have been number two. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was his first mistake.
That was my mistake. Once again, I wasn't dedicated to Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? That flesh side of me, you know what I'm saying, was really high. And it's flattering, because I didn't have girls knocking down my door talking about, oh man, you great, ooh. No, so I was really never used to any kind of attention, to be honest with you, because I was like the guy that girls kind of look over, and that's just the truth. I was surprised that she wanted me, to be honest with you. But anyway, I was dealing with all of that, and I met a fellow down there, man, and he introduced me to this ministry down there, and I started playing for them. At the same time, I was kind of doing the stuff in the studio with Mr. Thomas. And one day we went out, man, and I had some drinks and stuff like that, man. I was in his sister was around, and she was flirting with me and stuff like that, and I had that alcohol in me. And one thing led to another, and so I cheated. I cheated on my girlfriend. So, not proud of that moment, but it happened. So, she would call me, and every time she would get on the phone, hey babe, and she'd be all cheery and all this stuff like this, and every time she would call, I'd be like, oh man. Sometimes she would call, they didn't want to pick up the phone, like, man, because she was preparing for the wedding, right? You know what I'm saying? So the mom and them was buying stuff. I was even sending money back home for the wedding, you know what I'm saying? But this thing had happened, you know what I'm saying? This infidelity, this break of trust had happened. And so I had a decision to make. I had to make the decision to just keep that to myself. Because she probably would never find out about this person, so, but that wasn't me. I'm kind of like a nice guy, and I guess nice guys finish, they say nice guys finish last, but I don't believe that. But I wanted to be honest with her, and I didn't want her entering into a marriage with me and not knowing everything. I wanted to give her the right to say, no, I don't want to marry you because you messed up. So, one day she called, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't. So I just said, listen, be quiet. Stop all this cheery stuff. I got something to tell you. So I told her, I said, listen, I messed up. I cheated. And I understand if you don't want to marry me anymore, because I'm the one that messed up. But I wanted to let you know, and I didn't want you to enter into a marriage with me and not know what happened. I wanted to give you that choice. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking that she's gonna be like, I thought she was gonna just go off, like some black women do. You know what I'm saying? They go off on you. You know what I'm saying? And it was dead silence on the phone. It was dead silence. So I'm waiting for a response, and all I can hear was crying. And man, that even made it worse. I'm like, oh man. So and so what did you say?
Oh, well, I guess the people need to know my thought process and why, because I know most people would be like, oh no. But I sat there and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. A part of me wanted to say, we're done. But it was a part of me that he told me. And he didn't have to tell me. I probably wouldn't have never known. And the fact that he told me, it said something about him. So I was struggling with them myself. And I was so hurt. So hurt because I felt like that was something that he wouldn't do. That was out of his character. And he did. But I did. After I sat and cried for a while. But I was thinking also, and then I just said, I'll still marry you. That didn't mean that I had got over it right then.
No.
That just means that I didn't want to lose him, and that because he was so honest, because he called me and gave me the option and opportunity to choose, I thought that was very, very commendable for him to do that. And because I loved him and because he gave me that honor and respect, I felt like I could get over this and eventually, and we can continue to start our life together.
So, rough start.
Yeah.
Rough start to relationship and this long distance and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was so shocked and surprised that she said she still wanted to marry me, man. But she did say this.
Yes.
You better not ever do that again.
Yes.
And boy, those words still stick with me to this day. And I only have Yahuwah to thank and to praise, because his Ruach HaKodesh in me keeps me. He enables me to stay true. Even though in my family line there is this demonic force that just rides the men to be cheaters and to just do all kind of stuff that they see done. And I didn't want that. I didn't want to be that guy. And so, I asked the Most High to really help me to be true to her and to be the man that she needed me to be. And I didn't want to be like my forefathers who cheated and who had all kind of different women and stuff like that. And I just didn't want her dealing with that. But anyway, that was an emotional moment for me, and that was an eye opener because I didn't want to go down that path. So during this time when I was in Miami, she came down to visit and stuff like that, and those were good times. And so,
and we vowed, pretty much not a vow, but it was like every time you wanted to see me, you let me know.
Yeah.
And so when I got to missing him like super, like crazy, I was like, babe, I miss you so much. Can you please come see me? And the next day, he was there.
Yeah.
People, keep in mind that this is a 15-hour drive.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
when I asked him to come home, he was there.
Yeah.
Every time
Yeah, man.
that I asked him to come home,
Yeah.
he was right there. He gassed up his car
Yeah.
and drove all night or all day, depending on when I asked him to come.
At that time, Bobby Brown had just came out with his with that CD. I think it was called Bobby. It had Ain't Nobody Humping Around and what's another song with that. But that album was out. That CD was out, and man, I wrote that CD. That was my ride CD right there, boy. I mean, me and Bobby Brown was going down the road, boy, and I gotta get away. But I was jamming that CD all the way home to come see her. I spent a couple of days with her and her family, and I go back down to Miami. Granted, I didn't have a 9-to-5 job. I played at a church, and I worked in the studio, Philip Michael Thomas, so I could do that. I didn't check my oil. I didn't get the car checked out. I just put gas in it and got on down.
Tires.
I ain't checked nothing. I could have been broke on the side of the road, didn't have hardly no money. I was just crazy like that. So, but love make you do some crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, that long distance relationship was one that was it made our hearts for each other grow fonder. And like she said, when she missed me, I'd go and see her. And then she came and stayed with me down in Miami. So, I mean, it worked out, and she got a chance to meet Philip Michael Thomas, and everything. And yeah, it was good. So during that time, I was working on my music career and trying to get out there. Because like she said, I wanted to, in my mind, get a record deal, get famous, make money, take care of her. You know what I'm saying? That was my mindset. So I was so zeroed in on that. And and nothing else mattered, because that was my way of making big money to take care of her. And at that moment, all she really wanted was me to be there with her. She didn't want all that other stuff. She just wanted me. But it took me a while to figure that out. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that on the next video, and we'll deal with that later on.
Yep.
I'm Makabi.
And I'm LaShonda, and we'll see you on the next video.